Welcome back, everyone. Episode 8 of Coaster Cafe. I'm glad to see you guys are here, ready to go. So, we're going to do this as normal. You guys are probably used to the format, most of you. For some of the new people I see in here, though, what I do on Coaster Cafe is I do the intro, which I'm basically doing right now. And then I talk about what kind of coffee I'm drinking, hence Coaster Cafe. And then we're going to talk about several questions for you guys. So we're going to test your brains here. And then after trivia, I'm going to open it up to you guys and we're going to do a Q&A so you guys can ask me any question. Well, I have it here. Let me show you. I've had this on here before. It's the Starbucks French roast. It's a dark roast coffee. And I am drinking it out of my Volcano the Blast Coaster mug. So, got that right there. That's pretty cool. Hey, good to see you back, Coaster Nerd. What's up? Good evening. Hello. Hi, hi, hi. Oh, I just saw that comment about the buffering. So it's fine now? You guys are not. I see some questions. We will do. Is it still buffering? Huh. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's connection on your guys's end, maybe. Maybe a couple people have um okay, well, I don't really know what else to do about the whole buffering situation. So I guess I'm just going to continue this. All right, you know what? Let's see here. Yeah, we'll just chill out here for a minute, and maybe this will. Hmm. All right, all right. I um I just disconnected and reconnected to my internet. So hopefully that'll maybe do the trick. I don't really know what else to do. So for some of the new people that just showed up, uh Volcano Blast Coaster mug. I'm drinking some Starbucks French roast coffee. It's a dark roast coffee. All right. So we've talked about what we're drinking on tonight. Let's get to our news topics here. As usual, I went on to Screamscape and I found tons of new stuff to talk about from the past week. Um I see Insane Coaster Junkie stealing my stream. He's telling me that I'm stealing his stream, but I don't understand how that's the case. So I'm just gonna act like he's not there, and we'll get into our news topics. All right. So Orion, um, last weekend made its first test run. Wow. Yeah. This Orion. I mean, I've been stoked for it, and it's pretty much like I thought it would look, maybe a little better based on the one single test run that we've seen. Of course, that was the very first run, and it it just like it hauled through the course very well. It really flew through the helix pretty good. So that was pretty awesome, and it just looks awesome. Okay, good. I'm glad my connection is good now. So thank you for the feedback. That must have helped. So I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, what do you guys think about Orion? I think it looks pretty awesome myself. My home park is Cedar Point. All right. SeaWorld San Antonio is working on a new 2021 attraction. It's rumored to be an SNS Screaming Swing, kind of like Skyhawk at Cedar Point or Barnstormer at Dollywood or Finnegan's Flyer at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Those are very good flat rides. Very good rides. So that should be great for the park. That's a good thrill ride for any park to have of any size really. The only large scream and swing model that I know of is Skyhawk at Cedar Point. I don't think any other of the those huge ones have been built. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, those scream and swings are great rides for sure. Yes, Texas Stingray is open. Oh, no visible trims or mid-course brake run for Orion. Well, I know there's no mid-course brake run for Orion, and I don't know about the trims. That'd certainly be awesome if there were no trims. I'm guessing they're probably gonna release some kind of test POV soon. I mean, we saw the first test run over a week ago now. So, yeah. Besides that, we haven't seen any testing footage yet. All right, so Silver Dollar City posted on social media gave us the first peek at Mystic River Falls, that new raft ride they have. Um, that looks really good. I mean, it looks like it's going to be an awesome water ride for that park. So, yeah, no mid course for Orion at all. Trims, I'm not sure. I don't know if there was a trim break or not, but mid course, there was no mid course. All right. So the park in Mexico, known as Selva Magica, has posted on social media. They are removing two of their roller coasters. They're removing Katarina, that's spelled with a C. It's a Zero family coaster. And they're also removing Tornado, which is the Schwarzkopf Jetstar, which was previously at Busch Gardens Williamsburg as Glissade for the 1975 season. So Selva Magica removing two roller coasters, unfortunately. That's unfortunate for that park. It doesn't really sound good. Um, and a Schwarzkopf Jetstar, those are pretty rare nowadays. So kind of sucks we'll be losing that. Of course, it was at BGW, so it holds some history there. Brief part of their history. I think Vortex is almost completely gone, if not completely gone by this point. I seen a video somebody posted the other day where it showed like a couple sections of some of the hills that were left of Vortex that they could see from the road. Um, it's pretty much all gone, at least. Yeah, sad to lose another Jetstar, definitely. I've never been on one. I would like to get on one, but looks like that's going to get harder and harder, you know, in the coming years, I'm sure. So, as Schwarzkopf has, been long defunct. All right, Washington State Fair. Several live streams ago, I talked about Washington State Fair, how somebody had driven by and said it looked like two of the coasters were being removed. Well, we now have an update. Somebody got in hold with a PR person of the Washington State Fair, and Rainier Rush is being removed, which is known as one of the worst coasters in the world. Rainier Rush being removed, but Wildcat is just getting a repaint and being moved to a new location in the Washington State Fair. So Wildcat is staying, Rainier Rush is out. I don't think anybody will be sad about that. And Wildcat, I rode Wildcat at Cedar Point many times. It's the same type of ride. It's a Schwarzkopf Wildcat model. And really fun coasters. So all right. So Six Flags St. Louis, we just found out, is updating their front entrance for the 2020 season. They posted a photo on Facebook of them doing some work. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I think it's always nice when parks take the time to make like their entrances and just anything in general look nicer. Put a little bit effort into keeping up the park and the infrastructure. So I think that's great. Um, Flight of Fear is outdated. Yeah, I kind of agree, but it's still a great ride. So whatever. Yeah, lots of jet stars going with Tiger from Indiana Beach. I mean, it's for sale, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody will buy that or not. Yeah, Stamford Bridge. I remember Canada Coaster fan saying that's the worst coaster he's ever ridden. I absolutely believe it, especially with that POV that he posted, where the camera just completely flipped around during the middle of the ride. It's like, holy crap. Um, I was morbidly curious about it as well, actually. So I kind of wish I could have ridden it. Maybe he'll get relocated. Who knows? All right. Bob Chapek is immediately taking over as the new CEO of Disney. Bob Iger will stay on as chairman of the board at least until December 2021. So yeah, I don't really have thoughts on this Bob Chapek guy, but it sounds like a lot of people really dislike him a lot. Um, so it is what it is. I can't really add anything to it. So, I'm not really the Disney guy to, not really my thing, but a lot of people not happy about it. Leave your thoughts on that. On March 13th, Dollywood is going to make their biggest announcement in history, according to them. Um, Now this could be a new dark ride being added. Well, it's not going to be a new dark ride. It's their biggest announcement yet. But there's also a thing on Screamscape about Dollywood possibly adding a Sally dark ride to Wildwood Grove for 2021. That wouldn't surprise me. They could use a dark ride, another indoor ride. But also there are some talks about Dollywood possibly working with Mach. Um, or B&M and building a potential hypercoaster. I think that would be great for the lineup of the park. I think they'd really do some awesome things with a hypercoaster. It'd probably be way different than, or at least a little different than a lot of the other ones we see. Um, yeah, Stamford Bridge, I kind of agree with you. I think their announcement has to be the second phase of Wildwood Grove because they did say there would be a second phase of that. And it amazes me that they're doing it so soon. I mean, they would announce it a year after the opening of, but I guess that's a couple years in between opening, of the first phase and second phase, if it would be the second phase. Um, but yeah, hopefully there's a new ride or two. And I think we could be looking at the new potential hyper coaster, if that's the case, or whatever new coaster they get. I could see that happening in like 2022. I don't know if I don't think it'll happen in 2021. Maybe though, who knows? And another way they worded it was like it was announcement about their investment plan. So it could be like an investment being made over the course of an X number of years. Um, it might not just be like the biggest announcement for one season. It might be like a multi-year thing. So that's something else to keep in mind. I don't think Dolly would do a Raging Bull like layout. I think maybe they would do some twister elements and make it unique, but I think they would make it work with their terrain like they do with so many of their awesome coasters. I think they'd use the terrain and the trees to their advantage if there's any of that. I think it'd be really unique in layout for sure. I don't think it'll just be like a standard out and back like a Nitro or Diamondback. Oh yeah, Dollywood would do fantastic with the dark ride. Their theming is just they're on point with that. So yeah, I would definitely be on board with Dollywood getting something like Time Traveler. I would love that. Yeah. Time Traveler looks awesome. Haven't ridden it, but it looks great. And at the very least, Hershend has worked with Mach for Time Traveler, so yeah. All right. Track work is being done to Mindbender at Six Flags Over Georgia, the classic Schwarzkopf Looper. It looks they must have just had to make some repairs to the track, maybe had certain sections rebuilt. Um, there's a picture of the track being worked on Screamscape. Beyond that, we don't really know anything about this at all. So, track work being done on Mindmeadow or Six Flags Over Georgia, and that's about it for that. So now we have DreamWorks Water Park, which is the American Dream Water Park, looks set to open soon. Actually, right before this live stream, I saw somebody posted a screenshot on Facebook of insane ticket prices for this American Dream Water Park. And by gosh, oh my gosh, the prices for that water park, like $99 for one day for a water park. It's ridiculous. So I guess this looks to be true if they're posting prices for the water park. I'm guessing it is going to open soon. They have to get a few more attractions approved according to Screamscape. Maybe they even have them approved by now. I don't know. All right. Yamari Land in Japan is building Space Factory for 2021, which is an indoor outdoor inverted coaster with four-person vehicles. All right. So this coaster, it's really interesting looking. Um so I'm gonna go to this actually and look at it again. I can't remember all the details. We don't know who's building it. There's no manufacturer listed. I know Screamscape mentioned it looked sort of like the old aerobatic concept that aerodynamics pitched that never got built, but this is going to be mostly indoors, but it will have one section that quickly goes outdoors and back into the building. Looks really cool. The concept art that I see has those single, four-person vehicles. Really cool looking ride. I think it'll be fun. All right. Wild Water West. Yes, I know. I've seen you guys mentioning this the whole live stream. Of course, I'm going to talk about it. Wild Water West, which is in South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, is rumored. Well, it looks like more than a rumor at this point. They're to be getting an RMC Raptor clone. This is thought to probably be that cheap model that was being sold at IAPA, where RMC was getting, they said they wanted to get rid of a Raptor coaster they had sitting around for $400,000, which is a freaking steal. I mean, for a ride like that, especially a world class ride, $400,000. So we're guessing this is the one, but they put in, planning for it, like they filed for it with the city to try to get approval. I don't know if it's been approved yet, but it looks like there's a good chance of this happening. And this is huge because the only other coaster around that area that's in that state is anyway. Well, yeah, the only coaster that South Dakota has is a very tiny kiddie coaster, really super basic ride. Um, so the some random water park has no rides whatsoever, no dry rides or anything. Just plopping down this RMC Raptor. It's pretty incredible, and I'm really happy for those people out there. Because they could use something like this. It's awesome. Stamford Bridge says apparently the park followed up with a statement that it's all very preliminary and theoretical. Okay, so maybe they are just planning to get. I know the way it was worded. I saw a screenshot of these plans. It was just like a plan and like an idea for something. So maybe it's not going to be an RMC Raptor. Who knows? It's pretty much, well, it is a little bit more than a rumor since the park is planning for something. But yeah, it looks like they're getting something pretty big for that area. So Kings Island should not RMC the Beast. I have to agree with you on that. All right, King's Dominion. Oh, this hurts to talk about this. Uh, King's Dominion. Looks like they're not getting that wing coaster for 2021. They're getting something, people were complaining about the wing coaster, but it looks like they're just probably going to get some small flat ride or something to replace the crypt. Now there's new site plans that show the area where the crypt used to be, and it looks like they're trying to get something new for just that area. So looks like a new coaster is out of the talks for King's Dominion until at least 2022. Sorry to say. All right. So Twister 2, the wooden coaster at Elitch Gardens, they're having track work done on that. There's a picture of them working on the track on Screamscape, and that's literally all the information we have. They're just doing track work. So I guess it shows that they're wanting to keep the ride going, I guess. They're putting some maintenance into it, which every park should do anyway. So wahoo maintenance. Yeah. Things park should be doing. Nah. No RMC racer either. Ground up RMC at Kings Island, if anything. I think those rides would make good RMCs, yes, but they should not be RMC'd, just to be clear. All right, so Fantasy Island ride removal has begun. I think that they've only started to remove like some small stuff for right now. Um, yeah, not looking good for this park. I think out of the two parks, Indiana Beach and Fantasy Island, I think there's some more hope for Indiana Beach. I think Fantasy Island is just it's done for, really. SeaWorld San Diego had a drop of about 8% in the final months of 2019. So I guess about an 8% drop in attendance or revenue, maybe. I'm not really positive, but there was an 8% drop for SeaWorld San Diego in the final months of 2019, which is pretty significant, I would say. A few parties back to Fantasy Island again. A few parties are rumored to be interested in buying Silver Comet. Please, somebody buy Silver Comet. But the steel structure makes it more attractive rather than like the traditional completely wooden structure, which those are harder to disassemble and put back together somewhere. So, apparently someone, I don't know who, according to Screamscape, heard that reps from RMC and GCI have been commissioned to give the coaster a good look over. So maybe this could just get moved as is, or maybe RMC or GCI, if it got moved somewhere else, would do some kind of track work to it, potentially a conversion. I mean, and as well with GCI, we did see that steel track they showed off last year at IAPA. So who knows? Nobody knows. It's just this is all a rumor at this point. Supposedly, those two companies, somebody went out and looked at the ride, and people are interested in buying Silver Comet. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I would love to see Cedar Fair and or Six Flags for that matter work with Vekoma on some of those new concepts. That'd be amazing. I did not ride Firehawk. All right. So, Indiana Beach is rumored to be liquidating small assets such as arcade games and machines. So, they're starting to liquidate the very small assets in the park. Um, Not the best sign. I mean, they announced that it'd be closing anyway. As far as we know, it is still going to be closed. There is still some hope for Indiana Beach. The city is working with Apex Parks to try to find a potential buyer. They have some kind of deadline, like March something. So there's not a whole lot of time, but keep those fingers crossed, everybody. Let's hope they pull through, find somebody to pick up that awesome looking park. Indiana Beach, yeah, that'd be awesome if they could save it. I'm not too confident in that. I think it's gone, but there is still some hope. There is still hope. All right. Clementon Park, which was announced in late 2019 at some point, to be um closing. Yeah, another park closing. Um Clementon Park, it looks like will be closed for sure for the 2020 season. Did I say 2020? I don't know. The 2020 season. Big surprise. Like we already knew this park was done for. It sucks. It looks like a lot of unfortunately it looks like a lot of these small parks are going to be closing here soon. So, yeah, sad to talk about. Yeah, I agree. I think Apex only ever cared about the money involved with Indiana Beach. I feel like they didn't really care about the history of that park or anything like that. Yeah, it is sad. All these small old school amusement parks going away. It's nice going to places besides, the huge mega parks and the corporate atmospheres of like Six Flags and Cedar Fair. Not ragging on those kind of parks. Those are great parks, but some of those old school parks are great. I love Kennywood. Waldemere is fantastic. It's just really nice, doing different things like that. So the town hall should run it. Mm, I, I I doubt the city will be willing to pick it up if they can't find a potential buyer. Who knows? Maybe the city will try to operate it. That'd be great if they could keep it open for sure. Oh, and also as far as Indiana Beach goes, um, I'm sure you guys know this, but Fun Spot was rumored to be possibly buying it. Apparently, they did go out and look at the park, but they made this big post on social media. They're not buying it, unfortunately. So no Fun Spot, Indiana. Yeah, unfortunately, we would need a lot more than a fundraiser to save these old parks. Need lots of involvement from many communities, and it's yeah. All right, well, we talked about all of the news items here, so I'm going to say, um, well, actually, I'll save that for a few minutes. I take that back. So anyway, yep, keep those fingers crossed, everybody. All right, are you guys ready for trivia? We got some trivia questions for you, as usual. Test those brains out. All right, the first trivia question here. So, Cedar Point, Cedar Point does not currently operate any roller coaster built by Mock Rides in their elite collection. This was not always the case, though. Which Mock Rides coaster did Cedar Point operate in the past for a brief time? Cedar Point in their history has had one mock rides coaster. Yep, no Googling, no RCDB, no cheating. Just tell me which mock rides coaster Cedar Point operated for a brief time. Yes, Michael got it. It's Broadway Trip. Hopefully he didn't use RCDB. But yes, it is Broadway Trip. That's the correct answer. Broadway Trip was one of the very first roller coasters ever built by Mock Rides. It was actually Mock Ride's second coaster, and it opened in the year 1962. It was only in its original location, Fun Forest Amusement Park in Seattle, for 1 year, but would soon be relocated to Cedar Point for roughly one season in 1964. So the year Blue Streak opened, if that year is correct. This was only the second coaster ever built by Mock Rides, the first being Meteor at Sportland Pier in Wildwood, New Jersey, and opened about 1960, though that did travel the German Fair circuit in the late 50s. But back to Broadway Trip. Broadway Trip would operate until the year 2003, where it ended its life as Wizard's Cavern at Casino Pier in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. So yeah, that Cedar Point coaster, the Broadway Trip, um, actually held quite a bit of history. I mean, it moved around to several, like at least four different parks, and including Cedar Point. Cedar Point was its second home, so it was at the original spot for 1 year, 1 or 2 years. It was at Cedar Point for about 1 year, and then it went to a few other places. Ended its life in New Jersey in 2003. So very interesting. Don't know much about the ride. Maybe there's a POV somewhere of the ride at New Jersey or whatever. I should look that up. But all right, guys, we have our next question here. Okay. Stanford Bridge says, "Wait, didn't Wizard's Cavern become Black Diamond at Knoebels?" No, it did not. Um, Black Diamond is a relocated ride, and I think I'm glad you brought that up. I think a lot of people seem to forget that Black Diamond is actually a relocation. Knoebels did not build that ride. I mean, they basically did completely rebuild it, but they did it like from blueprints and maybe use some of the original stuff from the ride. But um, I'm pulling it up here. Black Diamond at Knoebels was originally at a park called Dinosaur Beach which was in Wildwood, New Jersey. And it was called Golden Nugget, and it was made by Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters Incorporated. So it was made by PTC. Um, so yeah, Golden Nugget at Dinosaur Beach in Wildwood, New Jersey, was moved from that park to Knoebels. Now, it opened at Knoebels in 2011, but it operated until 98 at Dinosaur Beach. So from 1998 to 2011, it did not operate. And if you go to the RCDB page for Black Diamond at Knoebels, you can see the pictures from around the time it opened, and all of the wood is completely new. I mean, they really completely rebuilt this ride. It looks like they might have used some of the original assets, like from the cars and stuff, or it looks like maybe the steel rails they reused. But yeah, it's interesting. It's listed as a hybrid coaster because it uses the steel and wood. So designed by John Allen. So yeah, going on a little bit of a tangent there. Rocket. Phoenix was originally the Rocket. Playland? Was it Playland Park? I believe, yeah. All right. So as we go into our next question, I want to tell you guys happy leap day. This is February 29th. So this only happens once every 4 years. So happy leap day to all of you. And in honor of leap day, We are going to be discussing Leap the Dips at Lakemont Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Yours truly actually got to ride this coaster. I got to ride this about 9, 10 years ago. Probably about 10 years ago, I rode this. Great old school ride. Um, it's the oldest coaster in the world, obviously, as you guys know, I'm sure. It opened in 1902, and it has been standing but not operating for several long points throughout its history. Because it is so old, it's had to be worked on many times. It features a length of 1,452 feet of track, a height of 41 feet, a drop of 9 feet, and a top speed of 10 miles per hour. I'll tell you what, though, from my experience, it feels like it's going a lot faster than 10 miles per hour. And on some of those last dips, you get mad ejector airtime. I mean, it completely throws you out of your seat. It's pretty insane, the ejector airtime on Leap the Dips. But um, for the trivia question, how much did Leap the Dips this is like 2 questions in one. How much did Leap the Dips cost to build in 1902, and who designed this historic ride? So, put RCDB away, close that tab, and, use that brain. Tell me who designed Leap the Dips and how much it cost to build in 1902. It is not a joke, it opened in 1902, what do you expect? 1902. And like I said, it's pretty insane if you actually ride it. You'd be surprised. SeaWorld fanboy. It was not $2,000 and John Miller. Eyebrows, you may be onto something there. You may be onto something. Coaster Nerd says, I'm too stupid for these questions, only know relatively modern Cedar Point. Well, you're not stupid for that. This is really kind of obscure stuff. Not a lot of people know. I mean, it's not real obscure, but who really thinks about this? So it's just fun. It's just fun. $20,000 made by PTC. PTC was not around in 1902. But good guess. I will say, especially 20,000. It was not $20,000, but that is a very good guess because it's not too far off. RMC, PTC, or CCI. No. Yes, it is $15,000. Even though you say that with a question mark, so you didn't even know, but you did guess it right. So Leap the Dips cost $15,000 to build in 1902, which, when adjusted for inflation in 2020, it would be $449,000, 900 wait, yeah, $449,949.42. So that's pretty cheap for a large scale coaster, which it was a large scale coaster at the time. Yeah. You guys have Edward right. A lot of people are saying Edward. Um, this guy in particular only designed 2 coasters. This was one of them. All right. Yes, Edward Joy Morris. Initiate, motivate. Got it right first. Maybe looked it up, but it's all good. It's Edward Joy Morris. Um, like I said, designed one other coaster, and that was it. And that one, there's no pictures or anything that I know of. Uh, all right, so yeah, happy Leap Day, guys. That brings us to the end of our trivia section. And now you guys can ask me questions. So what kind of good questions do you have for me? Does not have to be roller coaster amusement. But before I start answering questions though, real quick. On Friday, just this past Friday, the 27th, sorry, yesterday, the 28th, Um, my episode, the episode of Your Favorite Coaster Sucks, the podcast, which I was featured on, came out. It's on Spotify and Apple Music. If you guys are able to, you should definitely go check it out. Your Favorite Coaster Sucks. It's an awesome podcast. Zach and Ben are just really, really cool guys to talk to, and we had a great time. So you can listen to me talk about and answer many of their questions on Your Favorite Coaster Sucks. It's pretty fun. It's pretty crude at times. So for you, some of you younger listeners out there, you might want to stay away. It's a little too inappropriate for you, but hey, I won't tell if you do. I won't tell. Of course, I remember Six Flags Astroworld. When do I think Jersey Devil will open? I'll say August. What do I think of the big new park under construction in Iowa? Know nothing about it. Should Kentucky Kingdom get a skyrocket too? Sure, yeah. I think that'd be great for that park. Since Cedar Point's my home park, have I been in Forbidden Frontier? Thoughts? Yes, I have. It's great for what it is. I'm not the target audience, but certainly for families and kids, it's awesome. Get some really nice views of Millennium too, walking right under it. So very immersive, and you really don't feel like you're in an amusement park, which is awesome. They did a really good job with that area. Stamford Bridge, I wish you good luck. I really hope you get on Leap the Dips when you try it for the third time. RCDB has it listed as SB&O since 2017. Um, so hopefully it reopens soon. Gosh, I really hope it reopens soon. Good luck with that. Let me know how it goes. My thoughts around Pantheon's Overbank turn looks fantastic. Fantastic looking ride. Uh, can't figure out how to give them 5 stars. I don't know. Does Ohio have Six Flags? Nope, they used to though. Geauga Lake, rip. Do I think Six Flags will ever buy a B&M again? Um, I don't think it's out of the question. Especially with like a new CEO and stuff, maybe they'll figure things out. I'll go on record and say I think eventually Six Flags will get some kind of B&M again. So 2020 coaster most hyped for that I'm actually gonna ride, probably Candemonium. Iron Gwazi looks fantastic. Coaster Nerd says, I absolutely love Forbidden Frontier as an individual teenager. Incredibly immersive, and it's a better experience than most coasters. Huh? Kind of controversial opinion, but I respect it. It's absolutely a really good experience. So, sorry, I'm okay. Here we go. Uh, why does no one talk about parks getting an SNS Extreme 40 coaster? Probably because they haven't been built in so long. I actually did a whatever happened to video on that, so that kind of tells you right there. Yeah, they just haven't been built in a while. So that's why nobody talks about new parks building them, because nobody does anymore. It'll be interesting to see how the parks react to the coronavirus if there's a lot of community spread. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that recently. It'll be interesting to see how it affects the overall amusement industry in the US 2020. How do you get tie up? No idea. Yeah, Six Flags stocks are really taking a dive with the coronavirus. A huge, even more of a dive than they already took this year. So I don't think it's going to do them in or anything, but do I think Michigan's Adventure would benefit as a Six Flags park? Yes, I do actually. I think Michigan's Adventure is one park that Cedar Fair wouldn't benefit. Well, I guess they would. Cedar Fair could benefit by, getting some money to put into other parks, But Six Flags, I think, would actually add things to Michigan's Adventure. So I think it'd be better for Michigan's Adventure, maybe. But Michigan's Adventure, I've heard, is a really well-run park, and it looks really nice, so maybe it wouldn't be so positive, but they would get more investment than they currently are. Although if you watch Amusement Insider's one of his recent videos, you'll see him explain that Cedar Fair is actually gonna be adding something to every park every year in the from now on. Um, so it's pretty cool. Maybe they'll get something finally. Something small, but something nonetheless. Can you find it on Amazon Music? I'm guessing you're talking about Your Favorite Coaster Sucks. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just Spotify and Apple Music. Could be wrong, but try to seek it out and see if you can find it. What if Indiana Beach is saved? Well, that'd be awesome, and hopefully it'd continue to operate for many, 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 many more years. Have I seen The Rocking Boat by Mock Rides? Actually, I did. That looks really cool. If you guys haven't seen a video of the Rocking Boat concept by Mock Rides, look it up. It is really cool looking. Yeet or neat? I'll say yeet. Leap day. I'm sorry, there's pauses in between some of these. I'm trying to load all these questions and it's like not letting me like scroll up to look at some of them. It's like laying behind a whole lot. Um Cedar Fair is forgetting about King's Dominion. That's why they're getting low editions. No, I think it's just unfortunate. A lot of the rides at King's Dominion are having to be removed, and they're going to continue removing rides. It's also not one of the biggest Cedar Fair parks. It's big, so I think they'll see some big investments, but it's just not going to be like one after the other. If S&S Extreme 40 coasters are so praised, why does no park want to buy them? Or you're saying, but no park does wanna buy 'em. Yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunately the case with a lot of things, I guess. They're expensive. In the case of the 40 coasters, those are really expensive rides. Not just any park can buy those. Do I know anyone born on the leap day? I can't think of anyone offhand that I personally know. The oldest continuously operating roller coaster in the world, when did it open? I don't know that one. Oh, Jackrabbit at Seabreeze, okay, Stanford Bridge has the answer. Um Yeah, more or Mock Ride spinning coaster would be great at Michigan's Adventure. Anything would be great for Michigan's Adventure. Negative G's or positive G's? Negative G's. Michigan's Adventure needs to get rid of bees. I went in August of 18 and the bees there are terrible, so I couldn't eat outside. That sounds terrible. Yeah. Not much they can do about that though, really. Did I watch Airtime Thrills documentary on Monday, the 700-foot tall coaster? Of course I did. The fish hook coaster? Absolutely. Of course I watched that. Great channel. Do you think that a park will build a 40 free spin with a custom layout? Maybe, maybe. Busch Gardens, Virginia needs a Mac Extreme coaster. That's what they're lacking. Um, that'd be awesome. That'd be great to see. They have so many launch coasters already. Looks like they're even getting another one for 2021. So, I don't know. What happened to Arrow? They went in over their heads. They were in a sink or swim situation, took on a huge project, and they went bankrupt. So, They'll get invested $17 million a year. Not sure what you're referring to exactly, but do I think Mach and B&M are the most expensive manufacturers? Well, it's not that I really think, it's that I pretty much know. I mean, Intamin as well is up there with them. Mach, Intamin, and B&M make very expensive roller coasters. Even the cheaper models from those manufacturers are pretty damn pricey. So, like talking like 15 million for some of their smaller ones. Someone should buy another Chance Hyper GTX, definitely. Don't know why that hasn't happened. It's weird, but yeah, nobody has. Do you think that B&M will build another sit down, but now they're calling it the Surf Coaster? I don't think it's a regular sit down coaster for sure. Do you think Morgan could retrack Arrow Loopers or turn them into something like Phantom's Revenge? First of all, Phantom, the Steel Phantom was a special case the way it was built on the terrain and stuff. I don't think any parks would turn the current existing Arrow Loopers into a new ride without inversions. And Chance slash Morgan has never done any coasters with inversions. So um I don't know. I don't know if they I don't I feel like they wouldn't retrack those Arrow Loopers. And no parks are really gonna want to put that much money into older rides like that anyway. It's just not gonna be worth it for them. So okay. Scenic Railway at Luna Park, Melbourne, Australia has been continuously operating since 1912. So that's the longest continuously operating coaster. Awesome. Busch Gardens, Virginia is trying to become a Cedar Fair park like Cedar Point or Kings Island. And Busch Gardens isn't trying to become a Cedar Fair park. Way different atmosphere, experience, everything. I mean, yeah, they're building huge coasters, but that doesn't make them like Cedar Fair. Penny on Kumba, haven't ridden it. Looks fun. What did I think of Amusement Insider's video on Canada's Wonderland? It was great. Amusement Insiders is a great channel. So I think I feel like Canada's Wonderland might be getting like some kind of experimental type of like wing coaster or something. What would I think about a Chance Hyper GTX but a actual hyper? Bring it on. Be awesome. King's Dominion on their 50th anniversary should bring back the railway and skyride. Okay. I guess. I don't know. Um, Cedar Fair doesn't do huge celebrations with their anniversaries a lot. Well, I mean, with coasters anyway, and that's not a coaster, so maybe it would happen. What's my favorite SNS? Only SNS coaster I've been on, I think, is Steel Curtain. So Steel Curtain. IDK, what to say? I don't know, man. Just say something. Probably he's on here stealing my stream again. We're just gonna keep ignoring him. Uh, think in 2022 they will have the Sesame Street Forest of Fun expansion. Busch Gardens? Uh, what's my top 5 and how many have I ridden? Go watch my top 15 coasters video. It has changed slightly since I've ridden some new rides since then, but I'm not going to tell you cuz, mysterious, got to be mysterious about it. I've been on 96 coasters, by the way. Do you think if Arrow didn't make X2, they would still be around today? No. I think if they did not make X2, I think if they did not do X2, they would have stuck around for like a few more years until they just petered out like they were doing. They were already in a sink or swim situation where they were doing pretty bad at the end. So X2 just completely sunk them. Max Force, nice, nice. Do I think King's Minion will remove Anaconda anytime soon? Yeah, in the next 2 years, I'll say. I think it has 2 more years max. Probably after this season, they'll announce removal. What do I think Arrow would be like today if they didn't go bankrupt? Well, hopefully they would have evolved their track design and made more modern rides. I think they still would have been doing a lot of weird stuff. Definitely build more of the 4D coasters, maybe. So, who made Full Throttle Premier Rides? Water Country USA has torn down the Aquazoid Tower and replacing it. Okay, I have no idea what that is, but uh, I I don't steal Insane Coaster Junkie streams. He steals my streams. That's why he's on here right now, or he was on here. I think maybe he's hiding right now, but I saw a comment from a YouTube video a few days ago that said the amusement park industry as a whole is dying. Do I think this is true? Absolutely not. The amusement park industry is thriving right now. It is thriving very well. Can SNS copy the Aero suspended coasters and bring them back to life? I think they could, absolutely. Hopefully they do. I don't know if they will though, but that'd be great to see for sure. See some modern suspended coasters. Yeah, I'm all for that. Chaos says I'm going to hit 100 coasters in 2021 with Fury as my 100. Awesome. Enjoy it when you get there in 2021. I'm hitting my 100 this year in June, and I'm thinking it'll probably be El Toro, my number one bucket list coaster. So that's pretty awesome. Will Loch Ness Monster be removed from Busch Gardens, Virginia after Anaconda at King's Dominion? Well, if you're asking, will Loch Ness last longer? Absolutely. They keep Loch Ness Monster up very well, do a lot of work to it. I think they're trying to keep that around for as long as they absolutely can. It's a classic ride. So a lot of people love it too. Popular still. Why did Arrow not just take out a loan? I don't think it really works like that with the and plus they were already so deep in. And if they could have got some more money to keep operating, it would have just made the inevitable, happen less quickly, I think. Yeah, I mean SNS is the spiritual successor to Arrow. I mean they bought out the Arrow assets and they're very much intertwined. They have intertwined histories. So opinion on Kennywood. Well, he said Kellywood, but I think he meant Kennywood. Kennywood's a fantastic park. They need to improve a lot on their operations, though. But as a park itself, it's really good. Lots of classic, unique rides that you can't really find anywhere else. So, what if was still around? Would they have made a suspended coaster invert? No, they couldn't do that with the suspended coasters as they are. Do I think Morgan will build any big coasters again? I don't think so. I think Morgan's prime is just past. They built a bunch of those hyper coasters. Um, they're technically a different company now, and they built the one hyper GTX. That's all they've really done that's been significant. I don't think we'll see another big, like really huge scale Morgan coaster again. My favorite cake, I don't know, I like all cake. What's superior to Arrow, SNS or Vekoma? I'd say Vekoma with all the new stuff they're doing. Haven't been on one of those new ones though. Pantheon opening date guess? I don't know, sometime in March or late March. I'll say late March sometime. Very late March. Favorite flavor of carrot? I like the carrot flavored carrots. I think Initiate Motivate says, I think Busch Gardens is going to get the first RMC T-Rex. It would surprise me, but maybe the way SeaWorld has been, adding new coasters like crazy. Yeah, maybe. Morgan did go out of business, but they were absorbed by Chance. So Chance Rides is basically like Morgan. So it is a different company, but kind of the same, if that makes any sense. I will visit Busch Gardens next year, probably 2021. Yeah, I seen the video of Fly testing. At least the going up the lift hill and the seats rotating. So cool, so cool. Copperhead Strike would be even better than it already is if that second one. I mean, I could see how you think it'd be better with more force, but the hang time is what really makes that ride. And that launch is only meant as a booster. It's a rolling launch meant to give you a little bit more speed to make it over that top hat element. Um, I think the ride is great as is. My favorite movie, not a huge movie person. It's a Wonderful Life, I guess. I don't know. I love Jaws. I saw Jaws once. I loved it. So my first job, this is an interesting question. My first job was Burger King. I worked at Burger King for 3.5 years. So of course I watched El Toro Ryan. Awesome channel. My make-a-wish would be to ride X2 because I live in Michigan. Yeah, I live in Ohio. I haven't got to Magic Mountain yet either. I love to ride X2 for sure. Kurger Bang. Yeah, I did work at Kurger Bang. All right, guys. Well, um, I'm gonna end this live stream here. It's been great hanging out with everyone. Hopefully, you guys had a good time. I think we had fun as usual. So, thank you for watching again. I will see you all next Saturday at 8 p.m. for episode 9 of Coaster Cafe. Real quick, I'm gonna say the Whopper is way better than the Big Mac. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me tonight, guys. It's been fun. And don't forget, go check out that episode featuring me, that of your favorite coaster sucks. Once again, that podcast is called Your Favorite Coaster Sucks, and I'm featured on the newest episode. And it's Zach and Ben on that show are just really cool guys to talk to. It's a fun time, so go check it out. Once again, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you all next week. So thank you. You have a good night as well. All right. So I'll see you guys for episode 9. All right. Take care, guys.